All right, let's wrap up chapter 5 by finding the quadratic formula. So, quadratic formula, what we're going to learn to solve quadratic equations using the quadratic formula, and then we're going to simplify things actually. We're going to use the discriminant to figure out which types of solutions we can solve. So, we'll figure out what the discriminant is in a second, and the quadratic formula, that's our new vocabulary for this section. Alright, some skills check before we get started. First, we need to write things in standard form. So just a reminder that standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And so I'll do one for you. I'm going to do two just to make sure we can do this one. X plus 2 squared. I'm going to FOIL first because x plus 2 squared is really x plus 2, x plus 2 with a minus 1 on the end. So first, outside, inside, and last, let's clean that up. We've got x squared plus 4x plus 3. And that would be our answer for number 2. So your job is to get 1, 3, and 4. And I'll do 5 here. They give us the equation b squared minus 4ac. And this is actually the discriminant. We'll learn this a little bit later on. But let's plug some things in. B is 6. A is 1 and C is 3. 6 squared is 36. 4 times 1 is 4 times 3 is 12. So our b squared minus 4ac here is 24. Alright, that's the answer. For 5, your job gets 6, 7, and 8. Pause the video, move on when you're ready. Alright, so you should have seen this from algebra, but here it is again. The quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac. There's that again. That's the discriminant again, what we just did in the skills check. B squared minus 4ac. And then all over 2a. Alright? And keep in mind that you do have a plus minus. You're going to get 2 solutions to these problems. Right? So because we're solving an x squared problem, we'll get 2 solutions. Alright, so let's do an example here. Let's use the quadratic to solve 3x squared minus 5x equals 2. We need standard form first. 3x squared minus 5x minus 2 equals 0. Gotta have 0 on one side. Here's your a, here's your b, here's your c. Keeping in mind that b is negative 5. Keep the negatives with them. C is negative 2. So, negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Let's clean it up. Negative 5 is 5 plus or minus 25 plus, because a negative times a negative, 24 all over 6. That is 5 plus or minus the square root of 49 all over 6. That is 5 plus or minus 7 all over 6. That is 12 or negative 2 all over 6. So that is 2 or negative 1/3. And there you go. That's the answer. So a number of steps in there, but we're just doing the algebra step by step all the way through. You guys can do this. You're up. Understanding check number 1. Solve it. Alright, so complex solutions, we're going to get square roots and negatives. That's okay. We can handle that. Let's do it. 2x squared plus 6x plus 7. Bringing it over so that we have 0 on one side. Negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Clean it up. Negative 6 plus or minus square root of 36 minus 4 times 2 is 8 times 7 is 56 all over 4. Negative 6 plus or minus the square root of negative 20 all over 4. Alright, so now we need to clean it up using I. Negative 6 plus or minus I. And let's see, square root of 20 is square root of 4 times 5. So we've got 2 root 5. So 2I root 5 all over 4. Remember to take the negative out, you make it the I. All right, so now these are all evens. We're going to clean it up. Negative 3 plus or minus I root 5 over 2. And that's as far as we can go. We're going to leave it just like that. All right, so that is our answer. Negative 3 plus or minus I root 5 all over 2. See if you can follow along and get that for 2A. And then 2B, you're going to graph this. So you can plug it into your graphing calculator and take a look at what you get. Or you can use your good friend's negative B over 2A to find the vertex and graph it. All right, one more example here. Let's solve this equation to find the golden ratio. Negative B. B is negative 1. Plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4. A is 1. C is negative 1. All over 2A is 1. Clean it up. 1 plus or minus 1 squared is 1. Plus 4 all over 2. And so we've got 1 plus or minus root 5 all over 2. And to find the golden ratio, we can clean this up and actually get some decimals. Let's grab our calculator. 1. We're going to do the addition one first, plus the square root. 5. And we'll divide that by 2. 1.618. Let's do it the other way. 1 minus the square root of 5. And we'll divide it by 2. So our answer is either 1.62 or negative 0.62. The golden ratio, it needs to be the ratio of a rectangle. You can't have ratios in a rectangle that are negative, because you can't have sides in a rectangle that are negative. So this is our answer. 1.618 is the golden ratio. Oh, we're freaking out. Let me pause the video until this cooperates. All right, we're back in business. Sorry about that. So here we go. Here's your understanding check for number 3. Solve those. All right, discriminant is the part underneath the square root, the b squared minus 4ac, and that's going to tell us a few things. So if the discriminant is positive, that means that the graph crosses the x-axis in 2 places, which means we have 2 x-intercepts, and that means we have 2 solutions, because the x-intercept is what x is going to equal if the whole equation equals 0. That's what we're solving for. So if the discriminant is positive, there's 2 solutions. If the discriminant equals 0, we're going to have one exact solution. It's going to hit just right on the line, and so we'll only have one solution there. Okay, even though it's an x squared, it's going to be a repeat, so it's like one answer but happening twice. Okay, and then if we're less than 0, that means we don't cross the x-axis at all, which means we don't have an answer. Okay, no solution on that one. At least no real solutions. We do have imaginary solutions. This is going to be an I-type situation. All right, so let's figure out the type and number of solutions to these. So on this, we can go straight to the discriminant. And so the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. So 6 squared minus 4, 1, and 8. Let's see what we get. 36 minus 4 times 8 is 32. So we've got an answer of 4. That's positive. So we have 2 real solutions. And that's our answer. Okay. All right, so see if you can figure out the type and number of solutions for these 2 problems. All right, moving right along, let's do the real-world connection here. We've got a function, h equals negative 16t squared plus 34t. And that's going to model the height of a field hockey ball. Is that right? Yes, field hockey ball. Okay. Will the ball ever reach a height of 20 feet? That's our question. So we're going to put 20 in for height. And the other side stays the same. And we're going to figure out if we're ever going to have a time where the height is 20. So let's solve for t. Move the 20 over, minus 20, and let's go to our quadratic. Not x equals, sorry, that's just a force of habit. In this case, it's going to be t. That's the variable we're solving for. T equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This is definitely a calculator type problem. Let's grab the calculator and punch it in. Over here. All right, clear this off. We've got, I'm going to do the discriminant first, actually. I think that's oftentimes easier. 34 squared minus 4 times negative 16. And so we want to be really careful about keeping our parentheses around the negative so we don't lose anything. So we got negative 124 for that. Let me make sure that that's makes sense. 4 times 16 times 20 is 1280. Yep, and 34 squared is 1156. So we get negative 124. We can take a square root of that, but it's going to be imaginary, so there's no time where this is ever going to happen. So you can see why it's helpful to do the discriminant first, because if it's negative, we're not going to have any real solutions. So that's our answer. Will the ball ever reach a height of 20? Nope. On we go. How about 15? So try this one again. Your job on this one, go back, use our equation. 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 34t minus, change it to 15 and see what happens then. That's your job on problem 5. All right, that's it. We'll see you guys in class. Good luck.